Last year I planted 3 hectares, but this year only 1.
Due to rising prices for raw materials, and especially due to the shortage of Russian fertilizers caused by the imposed sanctions, Sergio Garcia has had to plant less corn and tomatoes this year. Over the past decade, Mexico's agricultural sector has become more dependent on Russian fertilizers, particularly urea. According to preliminary estimates, Mexico needs about 6 million tons of fertilizer this year.
These problems are not related to a long-standing friendly partnership, but are explained by the difficulties in transporting goods on a global level, which arose primarily because of the situation with Russia and Ukraine. Therefore, it's currently difficult to import fertilizers into Mexico.
Growing crops without fertilizer could be a real disaster for Mexico. At the moment, farmers are considering different options to get out of this situation. For example, it has been proposed to use other types of fertilizers or apply smaller amounts to reduce costs. Sergio Garcia is buying less fertilizer. Where he previously used 5 bags of fertilizer, now he only uses 3.
I will try to grow crops. I can only hope that I will not lose the money I have invested. But I do not think that is possible. I think production volumes will decrease.
There is also a shortage of fertilizers in warehouses. In general, 20% of farmers' costs go to fertilizers, but amid the shortage, that figure has risen to 50%. According to forecasts, by the end of the spring-summer cycle, farmers may lose part of their crops, in some cases up to 50%.
The price may change from day to day, particularly if there are any issues with the weather. As the saying goes, don't count your chickens before they hatch.
The Mexican government has said it plans to triple fertilizer production to support the agricultural sector. So far, 740,000 farmers in 9 Mexican states have taken advantage of free fertilizers to feed their corn, beans, wheat, and rice crops. The problem is there is not enough support for everyone, jeopardizing employment for hundreds of thousands of families and driving up food prices. A major crisis is brewing.
It would basically mean death. What would happen to the people in the whole country without agriculture?
The trade turnover between Mexico and Russia may seem insignificant in relation to other countries, but as we see, it is of strategic importance.
This situation will really harm our economic relations and trade turnover, which has been on the rise. Of course, it must be taken into account that due to the conflict in Ukraine and the sanctions imposed against Russia, this growth will stop and the trade turnover will decrease.
Economic sanctions against Russia imposed over the conflict in Ukraine are having macroeconomic consequences, and Mexican farmers are already feeling their impact within just a few weeks' time. Alex Piñon, RT, Mexico City.